Hey guys, Andy here from Mediocre Hobbies, bringing you another painting tutorial. With the very fast approaching launch of the new Gallowdark Kill Team box set, looking like it's going to be focused around space station fighting and stuff like that, which I personally am very much looking forward to. It has given me the opportunity to get my Elucidian Starstriders out, and basically the Voidsmen that were there before Voidsmen existed, and those models have just been re-released on the Games Workshop website. So I thought, what a better opportunity than to show you guys how to paint those guys up really quickly, really efficiently. I will be doing a bunch of videos over the next couple of weeks around the Gallowdark box set, all the different gangs for Kill Team that can situate themselves on that Space Hulk. So make sure you guys let me know if there's any specific videos you would like to see in relation to that setting. Drop in the comments below. I'll get back to each and every one of you guys, and we can work out some really cool videos together. If you're enjoying what I do here and want to see the 365 project move to greater and larger heights, the best way that you guys can support me is through my Patreon campaign. There's a bunch of rewards in there, like named models in studio armies, and of course links to a private Discord server where you can chat with me and quite a large growing of followers now who support each other throughout the hobby journey, and generally just have a good time. So without further ado guys, let's get into the video. Okay guys, I've had these models in my collection for about 4 years now, and now with the launch of the new Gallowdark box set, I finally have another excuse to come back and get them done. I'm going to show you guys the process that I went through. So they were sprayed grey Seer, that started them off, and the first thing I'm going to do is work on their kind of marine blue jacket or navy jackets. I don't mean navy as in the color navy, even though I am painting them navy. I mean that they are part of the Imperial Navy, and the Imperial Navy is dark blues and greys, generally makes up their uniform, and I'm going to stick with that design the whole way through. So a coat of Space Wolf's grey contrast was used and applied to the entire jacket of this this sergeant here. In some of the artwork his trousers match his jacket, and other ones they don't. I don't particularly want him to have blue pants and blue jackets, so I'm going to go for like black trousers and shoes, and then just his jacket will be his like badge of office kind of thing. So that will have all of the dark blue on it, and then all of the nice gold trim and stuff like that. Okay, when that's applied, we're then going to move over to Black Templar, and we're going to apply this as a coat all over the pants and shoes of this miniature. Nice, quick and easy step, nothing to kind of overthink here. Just get a bunch of black paint on his black trousers. Next, we're going to move over to Wyldwood. And at this step, I don't think will matter for most of the these miniatures, as he's the only one that seems to have the kind of the shoulder rig for his pistol, which I really like, by the way. Him carrying his kind of service pistol of office, so he's wearing kind of over the shoulder straps and carries his pistol there, which of course is currently empty because he's holding his pistol. But I gave all of the straps and leather bits and pieces on this miniature a coat of Wyldwood. You could use all the straps for the las guns and stuff that the other models are holding, and the same color as you're going through. As you can see, the color breaking up is already happening, and the model is already kind of starting to take shape, and I'm already excited about the potential of this miniature. Now I'm going on to the trim on the uniform. I'm going to call it trim. I don't actually know what the like piping, is that what it's called? If someone knows what it's called on military uniforms when they have that kind of like design around the edges and stuff, cuffs and stuff, please let me know in the comments below. I do like learning these little history tips, and you guys tend to be pretty good at letting me know. So I use Nazdrag Yellow to get the base coat on this done. In some artwork it's actually gold, and that's another thing I don't know. Would it actually appear gold on a uniform, or I'm going to go for more of a golden fabric? So if that's a wrong interpretation, I apologize, but I think it turns out quite well at the end, so let's not panic. Basilicanum Grey was used to base coat all of the weapons that he carries. I like the idea, and I've done it before, of certain las guns and definitely kind of spaceship-borne weapons to be like pulled out of service lockers and stuff, so they're not camouflaged or anything like that. They are like, you know, they don't belong to that guy. It's just the alarms and the klaxons went off, boarding happened, he walked over to a locker, swung it open, and then there's just these rows of you know, flat grey rifles. Grabs them out, loads a couple of shells in and gets to work. So Basilicanum Grey was used to just base coat all of the rifles and all the weapons. Golden Flesh was used to put a base coat on all of the skin, so his face and his hands. He's not wearing gloves or anything, so it is actually his hands. I was trying to make a decision here whether I had to be careful around his hairline, as I didn't know what colour the hair was going to be yet. Was I going to make him a grizzled old vet with like greyish hair? In that case, I don't want to kind of disturb the white, or am I going to make him a kind of a younger officer with jet black or brown hair? I think I went for a slightly younger officer in the end. I stick to a dark browny, like a mousy colour for his hair. Blood Orange Red contrast was used for his like scarf of office. I also used this. He's also got 3 shotgun shells in his belt on his right hip. So I used the Blood Orange Red contrast to base coat those rounds as well. Next, it's time to actually go in for some of the more ornate parts of this miniature. So Retributor Armor Gold was used for quite a lot of this guy. Like when I was painting up this miniature, or when I'm painting up miniatures in general, I love if they have a 360 on the Games Workshop website. So that's an image on the website where they're selling this miniature, where it rotates 360 if you kind of scroll your mouse back and forth to look at different details. So he has a big gold kind of gauntlet thing, which I'm sure feeds him full of information and stuff about his ship. And it goes up onto his shoulder pad, which is also gold, and then the like air pack, power pack thing on his back is also gold. I've also done any Aquillas across this miniature in gold as well. Iron Hand Steel was then used to base coat all of the other metallic parts, so the pistol grip, the magazine, the barrel, and the same thing across the shotgun. I went for the rail across the top, the handle for actually pumping the shotgun, the pistol grip, and the shoulder guard bit at the end. I don't think he'll thank me for his shoulder guard being made of metal, but what can you do? He's a tough guy. He can take the bruised shoulders every now and again. There's also things like the piping that goes between his gauntlet and his backpack. I also did that in silver. And he's got 2 grenades as well on his hip, so they also got done with a quick coat of silver. And with that, the model is really starting to come together now. I believe that's all the base coats applied, so it's time to get the miniature shaded. So for this, I went for an all-over coat of Seraphim Sepia. This will base coat all of these colors really, really well. Even the ones you don't expect to work really well, like the blue jacket and stuff, it does actually work. It just acts like really nice dark shadow. We go back in and layer it up in a minute. The miniature comes out really well, but it also contrasts the kind of Nazareth yellow, the gold, the grey. It's even the skin color. It's gonna love it. So Seraphim Sepia was applied all over this miniature, and then I waited for it to dry. Normally at this stage I would also base the miniature. All I did myself was actually paint the base black so your eye wouldn't be focused to it, because I still don't know how I intend to base these miniatures, whether I want to put them on like deck plating for like Necromunda, or whether I want to do them as if they're, you know, a crashed ship, an Arvis lighter went down, there's a surviving crew, so they're going to have some sort of credit. I don't really know just yet, so I just went to safe route and did the black bases. The Fang is then used to apply the first coats of highlights, and this is going to be for his navy blue jacket. And just one thin coat across the jacket really works to highlight the miniature. I want to take my time not to hit any of the piping or trim or whatever across the jacket, which fine pointed brush and taking your time is going to get this job done, but it is a little bit finicky, so take your time and be careful. And remember, we're at the layering stage and we're doing the first section, so all the other colors need to be layered up anyway, so if you make a mistake, it's an easy job to fix it. It's just the more colors that got layered, the more careful you have to become, because we don't want to have to keep going back and forth fixing little mistakes. So as you can see, the difference between the bottom half and the top half of that model as to what the Fang does to that blue jacket. And then this is the jacket all layered up with the Fang. And already it's giving me that navy feel. Mournfang Brown was used to highlight any of those bits that were Wyldwood. So basically his over the shoulder straps and then his belt around his waist. There's also a little belt holding on his gold gauntlet, which I kind of missed when I was putting the first coat of Wyldwood on. So off camera I kind of fixed that up. You can see it there now. So I'm going to also highlight this with the Wyldwood. Quick step, something like I said you want to be careful with. The miniature is quite busy, but not over busy. It's working. I'm really liking where it's going. As Zamesi Desert was used as the first highlight of on the piping or trim, just to bring it to more of that kind of goldy yellowy fabric color. In the end, this turned out to be a little bit too flat for my liking, so I did actually add an extra highlight to it later on, but we'll get to that when we get to that. As you can see, it's just a little bit too kind of flat at the moment. It's not really gelling with me, so I kind of do a thing where I take a break and mull on it for a while and do some other details, and then come back to it later on and decide whether I want to do any more with it. Mechanicus Standard Grey was used to then layer up all of the casings on the weapons that I did with the contrast grey later on. This is a really satisfying stage. I always like the look of the guns when they're like neat and tidy, and the grey layering really helps with that. I don't know what it is. It's a very satisfying weapon scheme for me. I've done it for bolt guns before. I've done it for normal las guns before. I think it just works as a kind of standardized weapon template. We went back to Iron Hand Steel to highlight all of the silver back up again and to highlight the gold. With the gold, we're just going to be doing a bit of etch highlighting, so just catching a few sharp edges, random details, nothing crazy. This will just help the gold to pop. Sorry, once again, the camera likes to focus on my fingers sometimes more than the actual miniature itself. As you can see, I'm not going over all of the gold, just a few quick strokes. Catches the edge and just adds that really nice highlight layer to it. Next, I went back to Zamesi Desert, mixed a bit of Corax White in with it, about 50-50, and then I actually kind of edge highlighted or scratch highlighted the Zamesi Desert from the previous side. This really did make it pop a lot more. It stopped it being that really flat, boring yellow color. I think it gave the miniature exactly what it needed to finish off that piping or whatever. I'm going to have to stop saying that now that I don't know the actual word for it. But after I applied that, I was then super happy with the result on the jacket. Time to get to work on the skin, so I went for the Cadian Fleshtone and I just very carefully layered up the skin. I only did one layer of layering, which was this color here, just catching all of the raised details: forehead, nose, cheekbones, ears, chin, those kind of areas, and then of course his hands and stuff, leaving the recessed shaded Guilliman contrast in all the recesses. Added a really nice kind of focal point. He looks like that young officer ready to defend his ship and earn his laurels and medals. And that brings the painting of this miniature to a close. I'm super excited for this. Like so excited that I intend to spend the rest of the day painting up the other 4 members of his squad, just so I can have them all done. So I hope you guys enjoyed this very quick, simple and easy to follow along tutorial. I will be doing many more Kill Team videos in the near future, so make sure you subscribe and stay tuned. And there we have it, guys. The Starstrider Sergeant is now painted up, ready to rock and roll. The only thing I couldn't decide on whilst doing this miniature was his base. I'm still not sure whether I want to slice him off that flat base and put him on like a Necromunda base, so he's on that like grading. But that'll come to me in the next little while. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you drop it the video a like. If you are for some reason not already subscribed to my channel, it would mean an immense amount to me if you take 2 seconds out of your day, hit that subscribe button and help the channel grow. It really does help me out a lot. Like I said at the beginning of this video, if you have any questions about anything I did or any suggestions for any future videos you want to see, put it in the comments below and I will get back to each and every one of you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching this video and I'll see you in the next one.